Good morning, friends. I hope you're all well. Now, today I'd like to talk about um, having a non-spiritual day. We can all have off days. It's like this morning. I actually woke up to. I went to put a blog post up, and actually on that blog, it was really weird. All my blogs on Facebook had completely disappeared, and it actually said it's gone against Facebook's community standards. Now, I couldn't work that one out at all because of Facebook and their, them playing silly people. And do you know what? It cheesed me off a little bit because I believe people like listening to me blogs and watching me blogs and everything else. But we can all get annoyed by silly things. So we can all have that day off one day in our life, or it can take 5 minutes to snap someone in their life. But the point being is, what I'm saying is that we can't all be spiritual all the time. Sometimes we have to take ourselves out of an equation, which does help. If we look at a situation, we think, you know what, we can't deal with that, we have to take it out. But we all have them days whereupon you think, oh, there are so many people out there that will really annoys me. It goes on with what I do as well. People ask the same things, same questions all the time. But there was an incident ages and ages ago which I thought was funny at the time. And I'm going to tell you about this because it just made me laugh, and it might make you giggle as well. Well, as some of you probably don't know, I'm actually a reverend, so I do funerals and weddings and everything else. My friend actually asked me to do his brother-in-law's wedding. His brother-in-law's funeral, not his wedding. Anyway, I've done the funeral. It was a really hot day, and I had to have my collar on because that's what they wanted. It was his wishes. Anyway, on the way home, I was driving home, and I still had my collar on. I was driving down back to the place because I was having a little get-together, a little wake for them. And somebody behind me was, trying to cut me up. And I thought, oh, do you know what? I don't need this, because I was really stressed out over something as well that was also going on in my life. And he just pulled out in front of me. So I overtook him, and for some reason or other, I must have had that thought. I thought, you know what? I stuck my finger up at him, and I don't normally do things like that because it just annoyed me the way that he cut me up. But as I turned around to do that, I forgot I still had my collar on me, and his face was a picture because, see, some people don't think quick enough, and he must have thought, oh my God, a vicar. Which I don't like. I don't like using the word reverend. So I just, if someone asks me if I can do it, I'll do it for them. But it was just something that I wanted to do. I wanted to learn more about helping people and learning more about spiritualism, actually. Anyway, getting back to the subject of this little context, he nearly swerved into this side of the road because, as I said, he saw me collar, and his face was just it was quite funny, actually. But that just proves that whoever we are, whether or not that we are working for spirit, we can still have them days. We're just ordinary people in an ordinary world, doing our jobs, going along our daily lives, driving here, driving there, we're putting food on the table, and, you can just have that one person just make you think, oh, and you just snap. So yeah, we're all exactly the same, and I'm going to say to you as well, that even if you are spiritual, if you're not, you mustn't feel guilty about that either, because it's a natural, it's a law, it's an effect. Someone's going to, excuse the expression, cheese you off, and you're going to think, do you know what, I am going to snap on, I'm going to get annoyed. But sometimes you look at another situation, you can look at it deeper, whereupon you can take yourself out of that situation and look at the deeper things. We all go through it. I've got something going on in my life at the moment. And, you know, and someone said to me the other day, if you look at the deeper situation and let them people get to you, if you took them out, would they be able to cope with actually what you're doing? Well, no, they wouldn't, because I'm doing the best I can for that person, and they wouldn't be able to cope with that because, number one, they live far away. But that's, you know, that's my issue. But the issue I'm trying to say to you is, yeah, you can get annoyed, you can rant and rave, you're allowed to do that. So don't forget that we're all exactly the same. We're all human beings with just that soul inside us. And, you know, we'll think about it after. Some's going to be a laughable offence. Some's going to be, you think, oh God, why did I do that? But this is what makes us who we are. And we actually learn from that experience as well. So I hope you enjoyed that little blog there that I actually done. And I will talk to you later. Thank you very much for listening.